Clover workers, or striking workers from Clover, are holding a mass rally in Johannesburg this morning. That says they try to intensify their 2-month-long strike over restructuring and job losses. Earlier this week, workers marching through Johannesburg's inner city, calling on the public to boycott the dairy giant's products. Members of the Food and Allied Workers Union and the General Industrial Workers Union of South Africa also marched from the offices of the CCMA in Marshaltown to the city centre. Clover has approached the Labour Court in the backdrop in an attempt to try and stop the strike from taking place. To get you a sense of what we can see, Tshegohaco Moagi is our reporter on the ground, live to us now from Johannesburg. And Tshegohaco, a great show of support from disgruntled workers there today. How are they viewing what's taking place? An effort, might I add, that's 2 months in the making.
Absolutely. Good morning, Ayanda. As you've mentioned, this strike has been ongoing now for almost 10 weeks, and they are vowing to continue with it until Clover works with them in what they are calling for an end to things like xenophobia, an end to things like their salaries being cut, and this is something that we know has really affected them quite badly. But just to show you what is currently happening, I'm going to request my colleague just to show you the impact and how many people have actually gathered here at Clover, that work for Clover, and quite aggrieved workers here that we know are very upset about what has taken place. You've mentioned that interdict, Ayanda, which has now been declined by the court. So this protest action is now being okay to continue. But I'd like to bring in here now the Buga Gongo. He is the Deputy General Secretary of FAWU. Buga, thank you so much for your time. Now let's start off with this mass gathering today. What are you hoping to achieve from this gathering?
First, what we want to convey in particular to the employer, Clover, is that we are going strong. We are strongly opposing their decision of cutting our salaries. We are strongly opposing their decision of designing their shift configuration. We are strongly opposing all austerity measures. And so we're here to build from the very same struggle from the beginning to say we are opposing all their measures. And that's why we want to register our dissatisfaction here to say we are still going strong. And we want the business in particular to simply take workers back to work. But we don't convey the message to only the employer. We're also conveying the message to the government to say what more evidence is the government looking for? Because Milko Consortium was clear from the onset that they are not here to create jobs. They are not here to contribute to the growth of our economy. Instead, they are here to take manufacturing capacity of South Africa to Israel. And obviously that is not the interest of our country. Therefore, we are disputing and we are saying the government must intervene and the government must ensure that Clover is taken back and is owned within the country and not by the apartheid state, which is Israel.
Now, we do know that there's a protest action plan for later in the week. Give us details about that.
Well, we are going to be going to the embassy Israel, where we will be saying to them, now your role has not obviously been a role that conforms to the development of our own country. And we want them to take the message to Israel and for them to, in particular, the Israeli billionaires in Israel who came here and lied and said that they are here to invest and to build our own economy. We want them to understand that we want to reverse the transaction that they made. We want to reverse all the decisions that they took, which of course are decisions that are not in line with the development of our own country. We want to take Clover back to South Africa. So we will be conveying that message to them to say, and convey that message to apartheid Israel. We don't want apartheid in this country. We don't want any rules that conforms to apartheid, of which Clover is actually trying to do.
I just want to double check, that is expected to take place on the 27th?
Yes, it's going to take place on the 27th. And I need to also convey to say, when I say we are going strong, I mean over 28 formations have already joined the struggle. And we are going strong by way of other affiliates also from SAFTU. We are also having another meeting today with Sakau which are unions that are in the same value chain, and they are joining the same struggle. And it's going to continue. If Clover does not understand, they must read what is happening here, that we are going strong, we are not going to change until they take us back to work unconditionally, then we can talk.
We do know that some people have lost their jobs because of this situation that's taken place at Clover. In the discussions that you're having with your members, how are they handling their job losses at this time, even with the COVID-19 as well? I know that a lot of them still had to work during the hard lockdown.
Yes, this is one of the reasons why workers are having a strong, or should I say, a high level of discontent. Because these workers are the ones who risk their lives. They are the same workers who during COVID who went sick but came back to work to help the same employer who is today punishing them to say that they must be dismissed, they must lose jobs. Of course, the high level of discontent is there, and one of the reasons why we are continuing with the struggle. But I need to also say that the reasons that revolves around COVID-19 by the employer, that they want to dismiss workers, it's more of an excuse than anything else, because what contributed to the loss of jobs in Clover, that project is a project that started in 2018. So no one was aware about COVID-19 at the time. So for a company to say we have reasons that revolves around COVID-19, it's more of an excuse than anything else. But we are highly dissatisfied, we are unemployed, we are hungry, but we will fight until such time we go back to work.
And just briefly for me, the conversations that you've tried to have with Clover, what has been the outcome there?
Well, the meeting is going to, I must say that it has been 2 months without any meeting with Clover because of their attitude. But we are going to have a meeting. It's going to take place tomorrow with the deployee of the Minister, Patel, and we'll be sitting with Clover. And we'll be conveying the same message. And we hope that Clover will reason in that meeting. It's going to take place tomorrow at 11 o'clock. So that's when we'll be conveying a message to say, these are our demands, and obviously they can't change. We are not negotiating. We are telling them that we want to go back to work.
Thank you so much, Vuga. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Vuga Konko, he is from FAWU, really just giving us details about what they are calling for. And Ayanda, as you heard, these workers are tired, they are hungry, and they're really desperate to go back to work. I remember having a conversation with some of them just a few weeks ago, and they've told me that, it is difficult for them at this point. They've got children that they need to be looking after, that need to go into school. But because of the situation that has now taken place at Clover, they are unable to do so. And as you heard there from Vuga, he has mentioned that there will be a mass strike taking place on the 27th of January as they go to the Israeli embassy. And they are saying that what we are seeing here is just but a drop in the bigger picture of what will take place on Thursday.
Tshegohaco Moagi, thanks very much indeed. Ventilating important labor issues there. Tshego's live to us there from Johannesburg.